Alright, we're back on gaming. And yeah, you know, at this point, I'm just so fucking disgusted to see the things that I have seen in the previous week, you know, over the week, since the last video. I don't think it can get... I don't want to say it can't get worse, because it can get worse. But you gotta be fucking kidding me that I'm just gonna sit back and watch this shit. Like, it's so fucking disappointing. I don't even fucking feel like doing this video today. I don't. Because that's how much shit has happened over the week. Over the weekend. You've got to be fucking kidding. Let's just get fucking started, man. Let's start with the developers. Because the developers are fucking up. That's right. Not too long ago, they had some type of seminar. I wouldn't say seminar. It was a conference. It was some douchey hipster idiot who decided he's going to hold and I'll put it like this. It wasn't even that much of a presentation. You know what it was? It was a junior high beginner PowerPoint presentation. That's what it was. PowerPoint. That's what he used. And I'm going to show you this right now. I'm not going to show you the video. I'm just going to show you the slides because the video is like 12 minutes long. I could just rip that shit apart for everything that it's worth, but there's no point. I'm going to show you exactly what they're saying because they're telling you gamers, alright, that it's okay. Developers are telling each other it's okay to be a developer of games and not be a gamer. So a couple days after Satoru Iwata dies, and he says, and we saw the quote, you saw it in video, in my heart, I'm a gamer. And that goes to show you that there is a connection with the community, with the fan base, with the consumers that you're working not only for, but also with. And you're going to sit here and say, it's okay that you're not a gamer, you know, because, you know, and you're still a developer. No, it is not okay. Because when these type of complaints comes up about your games, then there's a disconnection. So you're not going to understand the gripe that us consumers go through. Why don't you understand? You gotta be, oh, it gets worse. It gets a lot worse because then he bags on consumers as well. We'll get in that in a minute, alright? But then he goes on to say that we're a studio and that we're just here to make money. So let me get this straight already, just to keep score. You're not a gamer and it's okay to just be a developer, which gives you a disconnection with your fan base or your consumers. Then you're saying you're only doing this just to make money. Do you understand that when you have a lack of passion in this industry, that gamer community, those consumers that you're banking on will walk away from you? You understand that, right? Just saying. That's how it works. Because if you're not showing any passion whatsoever, and you're just doing this just to make a quick buck, you do realize that there's a lot of jobs out there you can do, right? Other than gaming in this type of, you know, fashion. You understand that, right? It's just sad to see this go. You know what? But it gets worse. You know what? I'm going to give him a pass on this next one, alright? To an extent. To an extent. Because even though it's all lip service, you have to understand that they never walk the walk when they talk the talk. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, he actually says to these developers, you need to treat your audience like adults. I agree to an extent, and I say this due to the fact that you want to treat us like adults, I am perfectly okay with that. That means you're going to give us the same respect, right, as we should give you. Now here's the thing, alright? If I ask a specific question, I don't want to hear any bullshit answers either. I don't want to hear any childish answers. I don't want to hear that you're so upset that I'm actually proving you wrong that all of a sudden you're going to block me all of a sudden out of nowhere. Because you can't handle the pressure. See, if you're going to start treating people like adults, and this goes for all developers, not just this guy, okay? Then it's time that you start acting like adults yourself. That means not showing up to your little, shindigs and pimp outfits. That means not acting a fool and saying, hey, look, we got all this money to burn because, hey, that's, because we had success. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, remember what happened with Diablo? Remember that? They went outside and threw money all over the place and started partying? Remember that? Okay then, that means you don't need ice sculptures and fixtures and giving yourself awards because let's be honest here, it's really fucking pretentious when you give yourself awards. There's a reason people like us gamers, us community, we don't watch the fucking Oscars. Because it's bullshit. It's already people who are already established pretty much giving themselves awards and then we should marvel over it. That's bullshit. You don't need that. If we're talking about being true adults here, okay? That means you need to make a connection with your fan base. And now, granted, you're going to have a lot, I should say, of immature kids who are just going to shitpost. And you know what you do with that? You ignore them. And you deal with the people at hand, because it seems like these days we see a lot of developers, because there's so much shit going on, negativity going on their feeds or whatever, that the people who are asking legit questions, it kind of gets overshadowed by all the rest of the bullshit. So developers, if you're going to be adults, then I would say be mindful of who you talk to. That's simple. That means no more, fuck you guys, you're nothing but a bunch of haters, blah, blah, blah. None of that anymore. If you're going to treat us like adults, then you have to act like adults as well. Okay? I'm just saying. Now, speaking of what I just talked about a minute ago, he goes on to say that every response counts. If every response counts, then you know what that means? That means you guys really need to start hiring PR people and not speak for yourselves. Because we have seen in the past just how bad developers can get when they open their mouth. Not just developers, but community managers as well. We saw what happened with EA not too long ago, before Origins. Remember the upstart of Origins, I should say. When gamers would say something, or gamers would show bad footage on YouTube of glitches and things of that nature, and what happened? EA would ban them from their game. That's what would happen. Adults, though. See, if every response counts, you know what that means? That means you have to take into consideration what everyone is saying. And when you have thousands and thousands of people saying, hey, look, this is a problem with your game. Hey, look, I don't like this part of your game. Hey, look, this is something I need to be fixed. If you ignore those, not one, because you're saying every response, that means now you are letting in all the people who decide they're going to troll you and those who are being very sincere. So if you're going to treat us like adults, you also have to be able to weed out things and then turn around and say every response counts. That's kind of hypocritical. It really is. You kind of confuse yourself there. However, it gets worse. This is where the mother of all hypocrites come in, okay? Because then he says, the customer is not always right. And then says, neither are the developers. Meaning it's time for people to put their ego aside. It's time for the arrogance to stay out the door. Now, here's the thing. When I watched this video, and he says, the consumer is not always right, and neither are developers, he barely touches on the fact that developers is not always right. No, instead, he goes on this tirade about how gamers don't know what they want. And if gamers knew what they wanted, then they would be out of a job. Because gamers could do it themselves. And now, obviously, gamers can't do it themselves. Like, he just goes on this tirade about the community. And I'm like, wait a minute. If developers aren't always right, why are you not addressing that part? To be balanced with what you're saying about gamers. And just for a newsflash for you, buddy, just to let you know, alright, there are a lot of gamers out there who are making their own games. Just to let you know that. So for you to sit here and say that gamers don't know what they want, yet every response counts when they say, hey, look, I have a problem with this game and things of that nature, because he's saying, we don't know what they want, he's saying, we don't know what we want, until they give it to us. That's bullshit. And you know that's bullshit. We know what we want. The fact is, you're not listening. That's the sad part of all this. So within all this PowerPoint presentation failure, all right, here's another, I would say some advice. The next time you decide you want to be professional and hold a presentation, don't look like a hipster douche, okay? Put on a suit, act professional, and show, like I said, there's always things about, like I said, you're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk, and then you make yourself look like a hypocrite in the process, in this entire presentation. It's absolutely ridiculous. However, since you want to say that developers have that right to speak out, and, it's time to be adult, and it's time to put things aside, if that's the main focus here, then I would like to say to people in Gamergate, understand now that gamers, I shouldn't say just gamers, because you already know gamers have your side, or at least some of them, a good amount of them do. Developers are now stepping to the forefront, which I've been saying for months should have happened, stepping to the forefront and saying that they support you, Gamergate. So as you can see, developers are now speaking up and that they're actually being adult about these type of things. They're not acting like children, all right? So this is a good thing, right? We're on the right path. However, there are still people who are acting like children. And for those who know what I'm talking about, Anita Sarkeesian strikes again. And I have to ask her fans once again, why do you follow this woman? Because now, out of all people, she's going to sit here and try to question someone's gamer credibility because of the fact that they're atheists. Look, I'm not going to get into the whole MRA thing. I really don't care about that, all right? But you're sitting here saying an atheist. Now, hold on. How do you know that they don't play video games? I want to know. Do you know every person that doesn't play video games? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what you just did. Once again, you're making yourself look like an idiot. However, you're going to sit here and say who clearly don't play video games. What the hell does being atheist have to do with anything? That's what I want to know. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've seen this community welcome anybody at this point. It doesn't matter what you believe religion-wise. As long as you're playing games and having fun, that's all that matters. Once again, we are having this thing where they want to separate people, to segregate people. I want to know from her fan base, why do you still support this? I want to know. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is a joke. And she's the last person to sit here and say someone's not a gamer because as you and I both know, she don't play no damn video games. She don't. We've seen so many times where she's talked about video games and been completely wrong. Need I remind you about the Rainbow Six fiasco? Need I remind you? You know what? There's no point of keep going, all right? You can't sit here and tell me, especially when she tried to bag on Fallout and then you found out in that picture that she was holding, that picture with those stack of games, and you found out that she had Fallout and everything. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The fact is, she's a fucking fraud. And I want to know from you fans, why? Like I said, once again, why do you support such a horrible person like this? And I say that due to the fact that I call her horrible because we've seen time and time again her use tragedies, to strengthen her platform. She flat out lies about things. Why? I just need to know. We're almost a year now into this, and people are still following her. Not to mention the other years, that she's been lying about video games. In Grand Theft Auto, you can sit here and you can beat up women. You can beat up men too. But you don't talk about that. Like that, oh my God! Like I said, it's ridiculous. It is, and it's. There's no way in hell that this should be taken so seriously with her. And I say that because she shouldn't have gotten as big as she has. But leave it to trolls who just kept saying, "Go in the kitchen, go make me a sandwich or whatever," and she banked off of it. She played the victim card. That's what she did, which we see a lot of these days. If you haven't noticed, but that's. Gaming, massaging, all that, or like, whatever bullshit, whatever. Fuck that. Anyways, let's move on. Because EA, and I want to talk about this, because we're talking about Anita Sarkeesian already. EA and DICE, Mirror's Edge, they're talking about Mirror's Edge, Syndicate, Syndicate, I'm thinking Assassin's Creed, Catalyst, and its future, what's going to do in gaming. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to support Mirror's Edge due to the fact that EA could not answer if Anita Sarkeesian was a consultant on this. Remember, before, the controversy was she was part of the development team. And then they said, no, she's not part of the development team. And they said, and then people asked, well, is she a consultant? And then EA was like, we're just going to get quiet about it. So as far as I'm concerned, you have no sale. No sale. That's how I feel, EA. Until you answer that question, no sale. Okay? Now, I want to move on with more EA news. That's right. EA renames Origins to EA account. That's right, they're renaming Origins to EA account. It doesn't matter what you rename it, EA, it still sucks. Don't you understand? People still don't trust you. The only people who use your account are who? The Madenites, or people who aren't informed on what happened. We have seen in the past when you used Origins, how they was checking your tax information, things of that nature. No way. We've seen people who used Origins, like I said earlier, who would say something about EA, because every comment counts, right? Everything counts. And then they would show, the glitches and Medal of Honor and things of that nature. And what you do, you banned them. They couldn't even play their games offline. That's what you did. That was your fault. And though EA, I believe a couple months ago, they apologized for that, that doesn't make up for it. It doesn't. That's ridiculous that you would even go that far. But, whatever. Anyway, so I want to move on. I want to talk about EVO. That's right, I want to talk about EVO. And I say this due to the fact that, y'all know, I had said, there's more likely a chance I was not going to get a chance to see EVO because I had people from out of town coming out to visit me, and I didn't get a chance to see EVO. I didn't, okay? So I'm not going to talk much about the games. However, I heard Catherine for EVO was really hype. I heard a number of things that was going on in EVO, and here's the thing. I even heard that there was a lot of celebrities there. And when Jamie Lee Curtis, that's right, went incognito as Vega, that's right, shows up to EVO as if it was nothing to it, and she plays, apparently she mains Cammy. And that is pretty damn cool, but you know what's not cool? All the thefts that we've been seeing as of late. And it's not just EVO, alright? And I'm going to talk about this because we've seen a number of thefts at EVO, and it was just getting out of hand. It was absolutely fucking ridiculous, alright? But I've been telling you for months now. I've been telling you, when you're seeing people, the cars have been broken and equipment's been stolen. We saw what happened with Markman. You can't sit here and say that this is not a problem. You can't. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about at EVO, these were the things that were stolen from gamers and at the actual event at EVO. This is stuff that was stolen. I tried to warn y'all, but you didn't want to listen. I guarantee you if I went top 8 somewhere over at EVO, you'd have listened then, huh? If I was a big name, you'd listen then, wouldn't you? Fucking ridiculous. Let me tell you something, alright? Because obviously, there are a lot of people who don't live in the real world. And I say this due to the fact, I'm going to this count thread so far, because there's more too I have to show you about this. Stolen stolen Vita dev kit from Atlas. You steal it from company now. That's what you're doing. You're stealing from the company. Okay, 2 PS4 fight sticks. Okay, so you're stealing people's fight sticks. Some furniture. How the hell do you steal furniture and you get away with it? You want to tell me there's no security around? Seriously, where's the security? You are in Vegas, where there are cameras everywhere. You want to tell me not one person saw this shit being picked up and walked away? Furniture. Okay. And Neo's prize money has been stolen on top of his car keys. Now look, this guy won. He had $6,000. $6,000 was stolen. And his car keys. I want to talk about this for a minute. Because this is where you find out where gamers don't have much real life experience. Okay? If I win $6,000 at a tournament, do you know what's going to happen? I'm leaving immediately and going to deposit that into my said branch. That's what I'm doing. Then going back to EVO. That's what I'm doing. There is no way in hell I am walking around with $6,000. You are asking to be stolen. You're asking for the shit to be stolen. But you should also know if you have that much money on you, you keep that as close as possible. And that's all your belongings. At any convention, you always keep this stuff around you. Always. Hell, you didn't even have to, look, I'll put it like this. Even if you didn't want to go to the bank, you could have went back to your hotel room and stuffed the money in the safe that comes with the hotel room. Because you know they give you those safes that you can put your money in and keep the key. You know that. There's no way in hell you can sit there. And the thing is, we talked about this time and time again. Hell, Preon and Boltstrike talked about this. We talked about it in Momogon. Did we not? If you have, and I'll put it like this, a surefire method of making sure that you don't lose all your money, okay? I'll give you an example. If you have $100, okay? Let's just say you have $100, and you're going to the convention, you're leaving your hotel room. Do you know what you do there? You take half of that money, all right? You put $50 in your safe or whatever in your room, right? In the safe. And then you take the other $50 with you, and you make sure that you do a head count every once in a while so that your money is adding up right. That's what you do. Now, of course, with $6,000, there's no way in hell I would say, oh, I'm going to only take $3,000. And no way. $6,000, you go deposit that, or you stuff that shit right in the safe. And you make sure you hold on to that key like it's your life. That's what you do. So for me, it seems as though we have gamers who don't understand just how this works. And I say real life in this case. Do I blame this guy for losing this money? No, he had his earnings. I really hope that they to catch the people who've stolen all this stuff. I really hope they do, because that's an asshole move. It is. Okay? But you have to be more conscious on where your belongings are. You have to make sure that you have it at all times. I don't give a shit if you won $6,000 and said, I have another tournament. I don't care if you have to keep that bag in front of you while playing with your fight stick like this. And if you lose, well then, oh well, you lose. You have $6,000 on you. You don't take your eye off of that at all. That's how I feel. But they're not the only people. Like I said, it's not the only stuff that was stolen that day, because then the anime side tournaments, they were stealing from them too. Now we're back to stealing laptops, huh? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that this is happening. I know there's going to be people who are going to run in here and say, but they're only isolated incidents. It's not. If you look at the history of what's been going on in the previous couple months, maybe the past year, this has been a problem. Security is a problem. Tournament organizers need to have something. They need to do something about this. They need to be questioned on this. Not to mention, like I said, security in general. This is not just for the safety of, I'll say, of the organizers, if anything pops off or anything like that. No, this is the safety of the participants, of the gamers. Stealing people's car keys now? Really? So, this is what I mean, man. This is something that needs to be taken care of. And I put it like this. People who have lived in bad neighborhoods, and you know that car, we've talked about this before, cars getting broken into, regardless if you have tint on it or not, because that was an excuse for one of the thefts. I don't know how they saw what I had because I had tint on my car. That shit don't matter. People will break into that shit regardless. But it's the same thing. You have to be mindful of your stuff, your belongings. That's what it comes down to. There is no way in hell you can sit there and do that. And the people who did that at EVO, they ruined EVO. It actually hurt everything, because what I heard, EVO was a really big success this year. It was fun. People were having fun. It was a great, thing to see. We had, wrestlers came out to support EVO. You had, like I said, celebrities come out to support EVO. And then you're telling me, within all of this, that stuff is getting stolen. I would think that the fighting game community, because I've seen GoFundMe pages and things of that nature, that's fine if you want to do that, but now it's time for you as a community to take a fucking stand and say this will not happen. Someone has to answer for it. Look at those tournament organizers. Look at those sponsors. There's no way, because now it's a safety issue. It really is. There's already people saying I'll never go to EVO. There's already people contacting me on Twitter saying that I'll never go to EVO. That is crazy. You're losing people who could come in and experience something great because of the fact that you can't make sure that they're secure. That is a problem. And the FGC in general looks bad on this one. They do. Like I said, I understand. Like I said, there's going to be people coming and say, well, it's not all of us that do it. It's still part of your community. You understand that, right? I've told you before. Even though there's the positives, you still got to look at the negatives and say, hey, look, we can fix this so that we can become stronger. But every time I say that shit, you get butthurt and decide, well, we're going to flag you down. Like you did in my other FGC video. Unfucking real. I swear, like I said, if this is about becoming adult and being competitors and having fun and being in the essence of all of it, then you have to also realize that in reality, there's people out there, there are fucking sharks, there are fucking snakes. They are looking for you. They are waiting for that 1 second that you turn your head and that you're not watching, and then there it is. They're just waiting for that opportunity. And I know some of you are going to say, well, shouldn't they play for it? Yeah, they should play for it and try to win themselves. But you know how salty people get. You know that. Some people probably just go just to pick pockets. I wouldn't be surprised. You have to be very careful. Speaking of salt, let's talk a little bit more about salt. Because for those who don't know, once again, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Rockaway Cartoon, what is going on? Every time you do a Tekken Revolution stream or whatever, you get somebody that's so salty that they just want to curse you out. And I showed you guys and girls last week on how people acted because take it easy on me, I'm a girl. And if you read the rest of those comments in that thread where I showed you in that picture, people were mad as shit. Well, this week, someone threatened to hack Rockaway Car. That's right, to hack him because the guy lost at a game. Is this what it's come to now? You're losing so bad that you're hacking, and he says, I got a YouTube channel, and everyone's going to see the way you play. By all means, please upload that, because if you don't realize that juggles are part of the game in Tekken, then you don't know what Tekken is all about. It's that simple. So please, upload the video, let us see it. But the fact that you sat here and threatened to hack someone and say it's going to happen, that person deserves to be, reported. That's how I feel. That is absolutely ridiculous that you would act that way over a loss in a video game. You should take pointers on other people, because when you lose in games, and we're talking maximum salt here, maximum salt to the point where even ESPN said something about it. That's right. You can tell even people weren't even mad when they lost. That's right. They laughed it off. It was dramatic. Ha ha ha. And everybody still had a good time. That's right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Guilty Gear made ESPN.
You know how crazy the football players look who drop the ball right before they cross to the end zone, celebrating just a bit too early? They are not alone.
Jay, I've said it before. Premature celebrations aren't your fault, but they are your problem. It was a big problem for professional gamer WiiU, who celebrated a bit too early at EVO 2015. What is that, Jay? Well, EVO 2015 is the world's biggest fighting game tournament. The guy who celebrates too early is the guy in red. Now listen to the dudes doing play-by-play. Check this out.
You're going to face little Eddie. You're always going to face what Ogawa is, so it's...
Wait, gets caught low again, has to burst immediately.
Low meter, though! Low meter! He's going to have to use... Oh, he can't! No burst!
So smart!
Oh, my
So
God!
smart!
Genius!
So smart, he couldn't burst because of the super. But Washiga thinks it's over!
Lock down!
But he won the last round! And Ogawa doesn't care! He still got 65%!
Oh, my God!
Washiga, no!
Washiga, not like this! What are you
What
standing
are you
up for?
standing up for?
Why?
Oh my God! Washiga thought it was over and stood up, and Ogawa gave him no remorse.
That is exactly what happened.
First of all, I love the announcers with the RKO out of nowhere. And then this guy who wins it, Ogawa. You know how when you clench your fist, you normally have this. He's got his thumbs up like this.
Because he's been doing this all day, and he's hurt.
And that is, Ogawa won the semifinal match, eventually won the EVO tournament. As I said,
He won the tournament.
Yeah, the world's
largest mistake led him to winning the tournament.
Right, it's the world's largest fighting game competition. While WiiU, I have a feeling I'm butchering that.
He probably messed it up like 3 times already.
Ended up in third. I am not familiar with those games. I am a huge gamer,
right?
But I am not familiar with those games. I think they're Japanese fighting games or something like that.
It appeared to be.
Mm-hmm. Dynamite drop in, Jay.
Thank you.
So for anyone keeping score, losing an online game, threaten to hack somebody, lose in front of thousands of people at the world's largest fighting game tournament, laugh it off. Do you see the difference? Just saying. However, I will say, I want to stick with ESPN for a minute, and this is esports in general, okay? Just for everyone to know. Remember Colin Cowherd, and we call him Colin Cowherd. I told you before, sports fans do not like him, and remember I showed you the video where he was like, if I ever have to commentate or talk about video games on ESPN, that he would rather lose his job. Remember that? Well, here's some news. Just to let you know, Colin Cowherd has departed from ESPN. That's right. So, sports fans and gamers, you can rejoice. He is now gone. I'm sure more likely he's going to look for another job, another radio show. Probably NBC will pick him up or CBS will pick him up. There's really not that many places, that you can get a major network on something like that. So, but anyways, he's gone. Rejoice. Also, I want to move on. That's right. I want to say before I exit the fighting game news, I have a little bit more things to talk about, and I'm sure even non-fighting fans can respect this. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, happy birthday, Ryu from Street Fighter. That's right. For those who don't know, his birthday was just yesterday. And oddly enough, a fun fact, Ryu's birthday is one day after the passing of the legend, Bruce Lee. Yeah, believe it or not. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Street Fighter because for those who don't know, at EVO, Capcom came out and said that Street Fighter, that all your DLC will be, in-game currency. You'll be able to purchase it that way, and that you will not need another Street Fighter iteration. And I know a lot of people got happy and was like, Capcom is our savior for doing this. And I'm thinking to myself, look how long it took Capcom to adapt to this. If this is true, I still say if. I still say if because I'll believe it, like I said, when I see it. Like I said, it could just be lip service. We don't know. But the fact is, a lot of people are jumping on board with Street Fighter V now and saying, we don't have to buy any more iterations and the DLC characters. They're still, Capcom still labels them as microtransactions. They do. But you'll be able to get it within, in-game currency and grinding in the game. Just to let you know, that's what they say. But, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't want to all of a sudden say Capcom is doing so great, they're our savior. Like I said, it has been years for Capcom to adjust to this. I'm just saying that, so I'm not going to just let them off the hook so easily. All right? I will say this is a step in the right direction for Capcom. However, an article came out not too long ago that says, should purchasing DLC with in-game currency be a standard like Street Fighter V? This has been done before already. You know that, right? So a standard, it's like I said, it should have been a standard a long time ago. We've talked about this years ago, and other games have already done it. So that's all I'm going to say on that issue. But I don't mind the writer, actually bringing up the issue due to the fact that it spreads awareness. That's how I'll say it. Okay? Also, I want to talk about Capcom a little bit more. Ex-Capcom developer announces a fighting game, that's right, called Rising Thunder. Now, I don't know what's going on with this game, but apparently it's robot versus robot. So, you mean like Techromancer?
Get ready, go!
Armor damaged. Extreme impact.
Or do you mean like Cyberbots? I'll be looking to see what they can do with it. Also, one more news when it comes to fighting games. Blade Arcus, is releasing in Japan in November 26th. It's already getting a lot of hype. The game looks great. I would say if you're interested in this, of course it's another anime fighter. So, we shall see what's going to happen once this is released and see if they come up with another iteration, God knows when. But, so far what we're saying, the game looks great. Just want to let you know. Now, I do want to move on to something that needs to be talked about. And this is, like I said, this is for all esports at this point, not just fighting games, as we know. Not too long ago, I had talked on stream with Preon and a number of people when they asked me to come on. I had said that I wanted to talk about PEDs and esports. Because, as we know, esports, since they want to be regular sports, they want to follow those guidelines. I've been saying this for months, almost a year now, that you're going to have to follow the same guidelines. Am I correct? So, apparently Eurogamer came out with an article not too long ago, and I had showed them the article, and I was like, what we talked about on stream, but I was like, I'm going to do a video about it. So I was just waiting and waiting, till the time was right. And today the time is right, and I want to explain this due to the fact that, for those who don't know, a competitive gamer admits to using PEDs. That's right. Now, in this article, also with Eurogamer, they had talked about how when you're at these esports, these events, there's people walking around trying to sell Adderall, $10 a pill, so that you can keep focus on what's going on. We're talking about prescription Adderall, even if you don't need it. That's right. because they want to make sure that they are at the best of their ability. But now, since a gamer has finally come out and admitted it, now we really need to talk about this. And for those who think I'm lying, I will put the entire interview in the info bar, but this is exactly what he says about it.
The ESL comms were kind of funny, in my opinion. I don't even care. We were all on Adderall. Like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, it was pretty obvious. Like, if you listen to the comms, like, I don't know, people can hate it or whatever.
Everyone does Adderall at ESEA land, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
just throwing that out there for the fans. Let's take it good.
And you can hear it in the comms, right? Like, that's what was so funny to me. It was like, yo, such shit's comms so hectic. Like, yep. Yeah. So that might clear up some of the questions of why it was like that. So, of course, I mean, yeah.
That is something that you really need to think about. So can you imagine going to tournaments and playing knowing that the person next to you is on something? Or should I say not knowing that the person next to you is on something? And you think that they have these godly skills, but they're using all these cheats to make sure that they stay focused. That's a problem. That's a huge problem right now. It is. And I've always, like I said, I've been talking about this for a while with a lot of people. I just haven't talked about it on camera just yet because I really wanted to prove. I wanted somebody to come out and say something, you know. But since then, an article's come out. Should esports players go under drug testing programs? Yes, they should. They should. Because if you want to be just like the athletes and say this is a legit sport, I'm telling you, you're going to have to come into all these things now. You're going to have to. Contracts, the Players Association, drug testing. MLG has already said that they're working with an anti-doping agency. I believe it's the World Anti-Doping Agency. So they have random drug tests. It goes to show you that this is something that needs to be taken seriously, especially when you have these pots, like for Dota, stuff like $10 million, $11 million. That's a serious thing. With all that money on the table, you're damn right somebody better not be cheating. That is absolutely ridiculous. And now it's going to make you think every time you go to a tournament, you're going to play against something, I wonder what the fuck this person is on before you even play them. It's just, and the guys that everyone uses, everyone. They're saying everyone's on it. This is almost like the situation where, baseball players and steroids, and you have steroid versus steroid. Who matches up? Come on, man. These are video games. We're supposed to be in competition and having fun at the same time. That is a problem. But I guess that's going to get swept under the rug too, right? Right? Let's keep going, man. WiiU. Let's talk about the WiiU. Project Cars has been canceled. That's right. The developer is simply saying that it's too much to handle. It's too much for the WiiU to handle, and they're actually apologizing to you WiiU owners. I will put it like this. At this point, I don't think it matters. WiiU owners at this point are probably so used to disappointment and developers backing out on them, they're just like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's been this tale for a while now when it comes to third-party developers and things of that nature, and not just third-party, but just in general. You think that something's coming for the Wii U, and then they announce it for the PS4, and all these other platforms, and they never say the Wii U. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. Also, in more news, 1 hour of Assassins Creed Syndicate footage has been shown, and fans are not happy. Not happy at all. I don't blame them for not being happy. I mean, how many Assassin's Creed can you keep throwing out at them? They're not happy. Ubisoft, stop. Slow it down. You understand? Take a year or two off from Assassin's Creed. Just take a year or two off. And see how your fans feel. That's all you got to do. But instead, you just want to keep it rolling, whatever. Speaking of fans, we talked about fans before in the beginning of this video about how they don't know what they want, and, if they knew everything, that developers would be out of a job and things of that nature. Well, here's something for you. Resident Evil 2, fan remake. That's right, the fan remake, the HD, was it HD Resident 2 remake? Will now be, will be available for free very soon. Just to let you know, the fan-made version. Just letting you know, okay? So, as you can see, fans are doing something. Don't sit here and say that they don't know what they want. Okay? Also, 10 years later, gotta talk about this. For you Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic fans, Knights of the Old Republic 2 just got a major update. That's right, a major update. 10 years going, you got a major update finally. Also, Final Fantasy 15 news will be teased at Gamescom in August. That's right. So you can get ready for that. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited for Final Fantasy 15. We already saw, all the fighting. Why is there an all-male staff? What is all this misogyny? Yet no one talks about Final Fantasy X2 at all. But whatever. Okay. Persona, check this out, here's something. Persona and Dragon's Crown developers tease a mysterious HD project. That's right, so you can get ready for that. Just to hear Vanillaware is doing something, it's like, yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? Also, in the last news, which I really have to say, I have to speak on this, okay? Michael Pachter admits that he was being disrespectful to Iwata. Now, as you know, throughout the years, he's always criticized Iwata and said Nintendo's going to fail and things of that nature. Now that Iwata has passed on, now he wants to say, I was disrespectful to him, I just want to try and make things right. No, you don't get that chance now. You should have did that when he was alive. I hate people who do this shit. All right, I should have said this to this person when they, when they were alive, but now they're dead. So now I have to try and make things right. No, fuck you. That makes you an arrogant asshole. You waited until someone passed on to finally say something. That's what you did. And then you're gonna have all these fans on his Twitter fucking cape him. That's what they're doing, defending him. There's no defending him at this point. What you are, and I told you before when I did the video against him, he is an arrogant asshole who doesn't know how to communicate with people. You saw what he said about, with waiters, the way he treats people when, he's at restaurants. It's the same thing. This is the type of person he is. He's an asshole. It's that simple. You don't try to make things right after a person has passed on. You want to say, you're critical of a person? That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. You want to be critical. But the way you acted during his tenure was uncalled for, it was unprofessional, and we've seen you time and time again act like a fucking child. And now all of a sudden you want to make things right after he's passed on. Like I said, a real adult, a real person, someone who actually is sincere, would have done it before they passed on. But you didn't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, fuck you and fuck your fans who sit here and defend you. That's how I feel about it. You can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, I am done for today. It just goes to show you all the shit that's going on. And it's uncalled for. It really is. All we're seeing is immaturity back and forth. And this is the community, and not just community, but the industry in general that wants to be respected. Respect is earned, not demanded. You should know this by now. But yet, for some reason, people just keep thinking that they deserve this type of respect because, whatever, ego, arrogance, whatever. Our community was never built off of ego and arrogance. Even if you won games, you still didn't act a fool. But now, for some reason, those times have changed. If you acted like that any time in front of a gamer face-to-face, you knew there were going to be consequences. You can always give, good game or whatever. But it was none of that, yeah, fuck you, blah, blah. It was none of that. There was none of that. None of it. But for some reason now, that's acceptable. It makes him look like a rebel. Like I said, you can't look like a rebel and a badass like that. You're playing video games. Keep it in perspective. And fighting game community, by all means, like I said earlier, keep everything close to you. Keep all your personals, your items close to you. There's no reason that should happen in general. It's absolutely disgusting. But as you know, you should be taking precautions. Anyways, I'm done for the day. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.